Welcome to Realistic Fish Keeping. Bite-sized. So this is the NT Labs Aquarium Lab Test Kit. It tests for ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, pH, general hardness, and KH. So this test contains plastic tubes for each test, a lid for each tube, stickers, instructions, a syringe, and the liquid tests themselves. Each tube needs 5 millilitres of tank water for the test. There's a small ring around each of the tubes to make sure that you put exactly the right amount of water in. All the tests are colour coordinated and they are simple to follow. The instructions are on the back of the box. First of all, we're filling all of the tubes with 5 millilitres of the tank water. The first test is the ammonia test in the yellow. Using the instructions on the back of the box, we can see the test has 3 bottles. Each of the 3 bottles needs 5 drops. You give it a low shake, and then you wait for 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and start that. Taking the first bottle out. I like to give it a little shake, and we're dropping in 5 drops. We'll then repeat the process for the second bottle. And again for the third bottle. So we put the lid on now, giving it a low shake, and we're going to put on the sticker on the lid. So just in case we forget, that one is the ammonia test, and we'll leave it for 10 minutes. So the next test is the nitrite test, and this one has got 1 bottle, need 5 drops, then wait 2 minutes. So we'll take that 1 bottle out, which is red, give it a little shake, and then we're going to drop in 5 drops. Putting the lid on, giving it a shake, and putting the correct sticker on. We'll check this in 2 minutes. So by the time after the next test, it'll probably be time to come back and check it. And the next test is the nitrate test. And this one does specify that you have to shake the first bottle for 30 seconds. You then need to add 6 drops of the first bottle, 6 drops of the second bottle, then shake and leave for 10 minutes. So taking out the first bottle, we're going to shake it for 30 seconds. This is the only clear bottle, which indicates that it needs to be shaken for 30 seconds. It's not necessary to shake the other ones, but I do feel like if it's been sat in the cupboard or in storage, they might have settled, so it's good to give it a little shake, but this bottle needs 30 seconds of shaking. So we can go with the 6 drops. Moving on to the second bottle. As you can see, that one's white, but still going to give it a little shake. I'm going to put 6 drops of that one in. Put the lid on. Give it a shake. And put the correct sticker on. This one has the sticker stuck over it. That's not very helpful. But it specifies that the pH has 5 drops. There's only 1 bottle, and it can be read immediately. So we're going to put in the 5 drops of the 1 bottle. It does specify that it only reads pH between 6 and 9. Neutral pH is 7. And certain fish species like it different ranges, and we can read it immediately. It looks like we've got a pH of around 7. We're coming back to an earlier test after it's had 2 minutes. So that is very clear, and I don't believe there to be any nitrite in there at all. I think that's the reading of 0, so that's positive. So next up we have the KH test, also known as the carbonate hardness, and this is a little bit different because we need to add 1 drop of the bottle and shake until the solution goes yellower. I count how many drops it is, then that gives us the reading. So we're doing 1 drop, shake, 1 drop, shake, 1 drop, shake, and so on until it turns yellow. So in this case, the number of drops before it turned yellow was 4. And if we turn our attention to the results chart, at the bottom, there's a green tick that says anything equal to or greater than 7 DKH is a good result according to this test. More on that later, but for now, we got 4, so it's a little bit under what we want it to be. Now on to the general hardness test, or a GH test. This one has 2 bottles, A and B. Bottle A needs to be added twice, so 2 drops in a shake. And similarly to the KH test, we're dropping 1 drop and a shake, 1 drop then a shake until the solution turns from pink to blue. So starting with bottle A, we're going to add 2 drops. Then we're going to give it a shake. Then we're going to go to bottle B, add 1 drop, then shake, and continue that method until it turns blue. So there we are, it's taken 10 drops for the solution to turn blue, so that's our result. We can refer to the chart now just to see what the correct or ideal GH should be. And on the board there, it's saying 8 DGH, so 1 DGH is 1 drop. Ours is 10, so it's 10 DGH. The ideal, according to this test, is 8. So ours is a little bit higher, but I'm not too concerned about that. I can come back to that later and discuss it a bit more in detail. Going back to the other 2 tests that take 10 minutes to settle, the ammonia there is showing yellow, which is 0. Anything above 0, we would be looking to make changes. The nitrate, that was another one that took 10 minutes, and we have a good result here. It's looking to be about fat negative, so you can't quite see it on the camera there, but there is a tiny tinge of pink. I'm not concerned about that at all. So on to the full test results now. First of all, I'm going to link the ammonia and nitrite tests together. They're both showing 0, and according to this test, that is the only result that's acceptable for both. Anything higher, we're looking at a possible problem with the beneficial bacteria colonizing. Potentially, there's too much food being put in, or there's too many fish, and the waste that's producing is overwhelming the beneficial bacteria at the moment. We would be looking at putting some CChem Prime in, just to give us some thinking time, that detoxifies ammonia, nitrite and nitrate for up to 48 hours. But as these 2 are the most toxic, it will be a case of immediate action, or we risk losing the fish. The way of combating that is also to put in some beneficial bottled bacteria, and that would help colonize the bacteria in the tank to then overcome all this excess waste. We wouldn't be looking to do any water changes at this point, or I wouldn't recommend it, because taking water out at this stage is just going to reduce the amount of beneficial bacteria in the tank further. So adding the prime and the beneficial bottled bacteria and stopping feeding the fish for a few days will be the best course of action. So onto the nitrate now, and we have a result of 5, which I'm not concerned about. Everybody's tank will have a little bit of nitrate in it at most times. This is because there's nothing to break that down any further. It then needs to be taken out either through a water change or through plants. Plants will regularly take it in to use as a fertilizer. Now onto the pH. The pH scale is from 0 to 14. 7 is what we got, and that is neutral. Under that is acidic. Over that is alkaline. Every species of fish has its own preferred pH. For example, angelfish prefer more acidic water. African cichlids prefer slightly more alkaline water. KH is basically the thing that keeps the pH stable. With a lower KH, the pH is more likely to change. A higher KH keeps the pH more stable. It's a measure of how much carbonate or bicarbonate is in the water. KH naturally drops in the aquarium all the time due to natural processes, like fish waste, plants decaying, and leaving food uneaten. KH can be added back into the aquarium with regular partial water changes. So having KH of 4 isn't a big problem. If it was to go any lower than 4, that could mean that our pH would be potentially at risk of dropping or being unstable. This would be more of an issue if the tank was fully stocked and the KH would be going lower faster because there'd be more natural processes taking place. As there's less fish in the tank at the moment, it's not going to drop very quickly, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on over the next couple of weeks. GH measures the amount of calcium and magnesium that's in the water. Water with a low GH is also called soft water. High GH is known as hard water. These minerals are required to keep fish and plants healthy, but some need more than others. As a rule of thumb, a species of fish that likes a lower pH will also like a low GH. The two will naturally occur side by side.